Well, damn, y'all keep adding words and letters to the damn. What the Second X. This is Ephraim Salaam. This is the NFL Player Second X podcast.
I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is the NFL Player Second Acts podcast. And with me, as always, my trusted sidekick, Deacon Reverend Harper. What's up, baby?
What's up, dog? I didn't know if you were going to keep going there.
Nah, I just kept it two-piece.
Okay. Well, thank you for keeping it just as a two-piece today. I don't want the three-piece. So
I do like the way that shirt complements your hair, though. The gray and the white around the beard, it is complemented well. You're coordinating. You're coordinating.
Some people wake up and have to work at this, Peanut. Other of us, we just show up like this. So thank you. I appreciate all the compliments. Thanks to all of our listeners and watchers as well. And want to tell everybody else to continue to hit follow, give us a review, hit like, give us 5 stars anywhere you pick up your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio Podcasts. Thank you as always. And Peanut, who is our guest today?
Hey, we got a special guest for y'all today. He was a 7th round draft pick in the 1998 draft out of San Diego State. 13-year NFL veteran. He played left and right tackle. Played in Super Bowl 33 with the Atlanta Falcons. He is a Chicago native from my town. Now he's a big man in Hollywood as a writer, producer, and he's a radio host. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ephraim Salaam. Y'all like that? Ladies and gentlemen.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. I appreciate you guys having me here, man. I'm excited.
This is going to be fun. You a big clown like us, and that's, oh my God, let's just get right into this.
Just your intro interview, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in the right place.
Yeah,
right
like
place.
This is, I love this. We just a bunch of big clowns, big kids, and we just have fun. And yeah, man, like how you been? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. You know, raising these kids. I got 2 boys, 12 and 8.
Oh yeah,
and 12 and 9 now. Just had a birthday, and I'm their coach. So
For what?
I coach them in basketball and baseball.
Okay.
Because you played basketball.
I did play basketball.
You played basketball in college at San Diego State.
Yep.
I'm sure you, like, what was your best game in basketball? Because we're going to talk about football, but what was your best game in basketball?
In college?
Yeah.
We went up to Colorado. We were playing Colorado State. And
the Rams.
I got in, and we were down, and they had like this big 7-foot kid. He was just killing us. And so coach was like, hey, go in there and be physical with him. So I went in and I scored 10 points in a row on it.
Okay.
And brought us back in the game. So I'm hyped. They call timeout. I come to the sideline. This is a real story. I come to the sideline. I'm like, we got it. Everybody, the team, are dapping us up. Coach is like, hey, good job. Take a break, right? Take a break. Get you back in there. You know, this was in the first half. I didn't play another minute in that basketball game.
Did y'all win or lose?
We lost.
That's amazing.
This is real. So what did
the coach tell you after the game?
Oh, we wanted to work on some things, whatever. But what I realized much later is here I am. I had already been a 3-year starter in football. I'm a left tackle. I'm 290 pounds. And I was outperforming
his
basketball scholarship athletes. So as a coach, how do you explain that? Like, how do you
can't.
It's nothing you can do.
He messed up.
So if anybody comes in and is like, well, I mean, who are you recruiting?
Yeah.
What's happening here? You got a guy who comes off the football field. He's 40 pounds heavier than anybody on the team, and he's outperforming. So I was like, at the time I was mad. I'm like, what's going on? Like, coach, what? Hey, we working on something. We got you. And it made me feel like I didn't know what it was. So I was like, damn, did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
And it clicked later. Oh, okay. That's how you save your job.
Right.
You save your job by not letting someone from another sport come in and dominate the people you have on scholarship.
I think that's so important. And it's just another great example. And we see it all the time, whether it's the NFL, college, whatever, is that when the people upstairs, they need job security too. So when they draft certain guys, they're going to play. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, they can fall on their face for 2 straight years if they're a first rounder. They gonna play.
They gonna play.
So it's funny that you brought that up because I was just telling this story out here. My 12th year in the league, I go to Detroit, right? I leave Houston, go to Detroit. Whew. And Jim Schwartz, head coach, just got there. It was after the 0-16 season with the Lions.
Yep.
And they called me, they bring me over. It's like, hey, we got to get this offensive line going. All right. We know you're a left tackle. Drafted a kid in the first. They drafted a kid in the first round last year at right tackle. Either you can push him or you can push him out the way. And I said, absolutely, let's make it happen. Go through training camp. Clearly the better option. Like everybody saw it. Everybody knew.
Yeah.
Scott Linehan was the offensive coordinator, and we get to, opening week, and Scott and offensive line coach Jim Schwartz, they come in, they sit down, they talk to me, and they say, hey, thank you for all the work you've done. You've raised the level of the offense, all of these wonderful things, but we can't start you. I said, what? They won't allow us not to play this kid that they drafted last year in the first round.
And he's trash.
And I said, what? And I was like, who is they?
Who is they? That is...
You're the head coach. You're the offensive coordinator. Who is they? That whole season, we go to Green Bay and warm-ups, the kid goes the wrong way. Hits the tight end, hurts the tight end shoulder. Right?
This is
coach is going crazy. Ephraim, you're in. We're in the middle of the season. I haven't played a field goal. I'm running in there off on field goal. You're in. You're starting. I buckle up. Whole offensive line. Yeah, we're ready to go. Let's go do it. We received the kickoff. I'm getting ready to run out on the field, and I just feel the hand on my shoulder.
Oh my God!
The hand. I feel the hand.
You can't make this up.
I couldn't make it up.
And these are words that football players know. The hand. This is like we all know what that is. It's like, that again.
My offensive line coach was like, hey, as I turn, I see the kid running, buckling his chin strap, going out onto the field. I said, what's going on? We got a call from upstairs asking why he wasn't going into the game and to put him in the game. So I just took my helmet off. Right, but that's what the league had changed into.
Yeah, that's
crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me this, a little bit more of a hot topic, very current, and I'd like to ask you, and we'll pull up a picture here too, is ask you about how you personally have been dealing with the writer's strike out here in California, and why it's been so important for you to be out in front of it and more outspoken in this. The
there you go, right there, yeah.
And, I'm out there on them streets, man. I'm out there.
Civil rights days.
You know,
you getting it out there.
But people ask me because of the success I've had in football.
Right. Like, why do you?
They're
you know what I mean?
surprised that I'm out there.
Yeah.
Right there. Why? I mean, what? Because I'm in the workforce. I'm a writer on a hit television show. And the things that are happening to writers, same things that are happening to actors, to everybody in the workforce, it's egregious. The profits have gone up tremendously.
Yeah.
So when you look at what studios and streaming companies, and so it's two different sects. So you have the traditional studios, the CBSs, the NBCs, the ABCs, who reach out and they buy the ESPNs, they start acquiring all of these things. But then you have the streamers. You got Apple, you got Amazon, you have Netflix. So they have a different perception of what success is. The only streamer that needs streaming is Netflix. Every other one, Amazon doesn't need movies to be.
That's true.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Apple, they sell phones. Everybody got Apple. Everywhere. It's Apple all over here. They don't need TV shows and movies to be successful. So they play by different rules.
That's a great point.
Their numbers are going to be what their numbers are because everybody buying iPads and phone. Everybody buying packages on Amazon.
Yeah.
So they're trying to carve out a lane in streaming for the icing on the cake. We make all this a year, and then we can ice this cake. What they did is they overspent. And shareholders start going, why are you spending $30 million an episode on whatever? So it's 10 episodes, $300 million. Where do you get that back from? From subscribers? So the numbers have been skewed. What's being squeezed out is the writers, the middleman.
Yeah.
Right? So we have league, it's like league minimums.
Yes.
We have WGA minimums. You staff writer, story editor, executive story editor, co-producer, executive producer, showrunner. It's charted, just like if you get drafted, right?
Yeah, slotted.
It's slotted. There are minimums attached to that. They go up slightly every year, but it's designed for you to get, make more money the higher you go. If you can stay in this long enough, then you can get up to the Shonda Rhimes and Taylor Sheridan area and so on and so forth. But the current structure is making it hard to do that. And I'll explain why. When television was in its heyday, CBS, NBC,
everybody watched those.
Everybody's watching
networks.
So you would remember one season of a show was 22 to 24 episodes long, right? They have a little break, a little hiatus going into the holidays, and then it'll pick back up next year, right? So they go 12 episodes and 12 episodes. That was a TV cycle.
Yeah.
If you're a writer on one of those shows, you participated every time that show was on television. Every time it's watched anywhere in the world, you participated in that. You wrote an episode of TV, anytime it was watched, then you got paid for it.
Yeah.
It's called residuals.
Yeah.
They come in green envelopes. You just open the mailbox, it's a green envelope in there, right?
Mailbox money.
That mailbox money. So you were able to sustain your livelihood because the work you've done continued to generate income. That's simple enough. It's easy, right? Everyone who participated or wrote in there, and the higher you go, the more piece of the pie you got. But you can work on one episode of TV and that's a whole year. That's a whole year. Put your kids in school. You could do everything you needed to do. So what happened when streaming came out, they cut that episode, those orders down to 6, 8, 10 episodes. For shows really popular, you may get 12.
Yeah.
And no residuals. There are no residuals. There's no extra pay.
Oh, really? It's just paid one time.
It's just you get your what if you follow into that structure, say you're a co-producer. Whatever your 20-week, 24-week minimum is for being a co-producer or a story editor, that's what you make. So when I was a story editor, I made, I think it was like $7,800 a week for 33 weeks. That's a good living.
Yeah.
That's a good living. You can't balk at that. But that's because I kept getting extended. Normally these weekly minimums are contracts for 20 weeks.
Yeah.
So you get to 20 weeks and they can extend you. I got extended to 24 weeks, then got extended to 30, and so on and so forth. It's all about bringing value to whatever project you're on.
Right.
The problem is once that show, it's the #1 show on the network, they sell it all over the world. That's the only way I get a green envelope is when they sell it to another property. Peacock, Universal, which I write on, isn't a universal brand like Netflix. So if it's playing in South Africa, they had to sell it to an affiliate.
God, okay, yeah.
So that's where the checks come from. So if I'm on a Netflix show, Netflix is everywhere.
Yeah.
So you take that same thing that I just did, I never see a green envelope. It could be watched all over the world billions of times, and that's it. You just get whatever your minimums were.
Yeah.
And it's not enough money for people to live, especially in LA. It's not enough money to live.
Yeah.
And
taxes is too high.
It's crazy.
For everything.
And so the use of AI, studios really want to use AI to write scripts and have a couple writers in there humanize it. So that's eliminated a whole workforce.
Yeah.
You usually get anywhere between 8 to 15 writers in a writer's room, creating the show, writing the episodes. They want to cut it down to 2 writers in a computer.
Is the AI that good to write a script on?
It will be.
Because it keeps learning.
It will be.
It keeps learning, yeah.
All they're doing, and we're fighting for them not to be able to feed it our content
Right.
to make it better.
Right.
Right? So we're fighting for them not to be able to take something a human being wrote, feed it into, because it's going to learn faster than us.
Yeah.
It's going to write faster than us. So you're literally fighting off the extinction of a whole profession.
Yeah.
Something that the entertainment industry has been built on. Any of your favorite movies, TV shows, all came from the mind of someone.
Yeah.
So if you take that out of it, and it's just 2 high-level writers and a computer in there, then that's a problem. So we're fighting against them being able to use that. The companies want that. They don't want to pay 9 writers.
No.
It's cheaper for them.
They cut down on the overhead.
Yeah. So I get money back faster immediately.
So what's go ahead.
Go ahead. No. It's
No. So what happens? So what happens to you? I know you're one of the writers on the show Bel Air.
Yep. Shout out. That's the big show he was saying, the national show, right?
I love that show, man.
Yeah. It's really good.
Fantastic.
So what happens to that show then? Like, explain that process.
Well, we got picked up for a 3rd season.
Okay.
We were supposed to start on May 22nd, and the writer's strike hit on May 2nd.
How influential is Will Smith on this too?
I mean, he has input. I mean, he's an EP on the project.
Okay.
But they really allow us in that writer's room to really build out the show.
Yeah.
I was extremely excited about it. I got a great opportunity to come in and pitch a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as brothers up here, African-American men, I didn't want to do a trophy show. I didn't want to do a show, even though it was based on an original IP, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Cooper, the creator, created this beautiful sizzle that he dropped on YouTube about a dramatic look at The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And we wanted to speak to some of the issues. But the biggest thing for me is I wanted to show what Black excellence and Black fatherhood looked like.
That was huge, though. Uncle Phil was like a great father figure. Like, people don't understand that, but how much of a father he was for a lot of people that didn't have fathers.
Exactly. So I wanted to continue that.
It's a great example. I didn't totally understand.
I didn't want to do a show about this kid, Will Smith, coming from Philadelphia to Bel-Air and teaching the Banks how to be Black again. Right?
Yeah.
Because under those guides, the more influential you become, the more success you have, the less Black you become. And that's an insult to everybody sitting at this table and everybody out there listening and watching this who's striving for greatness and have bettered their situation. You can't tell me I'm less Black because I played in the NFL for 13 years and I've had a successful career outside of the NFL. I'm still me. I'm still Black. The world sees me as African American.
Right.
So I wanted it to be of, when you take a kid and you put them in a situation you think is better for them, the traumas that go with that.
Right.
Let's talk about the real issues. They didn't get they tapped on it a little bit in the original, but in ours, we get to really live in these issues. What about these Black kids growing up in these affluent communities going to these private schools? Right? That in itself is steeped with all types of trauma and pitfalls. So I really wanted to talk and address things that, I got school-age kids, right? We live in Studio City, right? It's not like here. I grew up actually, when I came from Chicago, when we came out here, I grew up in Inglewood, right on the other side of the Inglewood.
Yeah, it's right over here.
It's right over, 60th and West Boulevard. Mm-hmm. My apartment, whenever I come over here, I drive by my apartment building. Still there, right? And so I wanted to be a part of something that showed us in a light what I could be proud of. That my kids can sit down and watch and be like, oh, okay, what are Black dads? What are Black moms? What is the Black nuclear family unit? Yeah, we have problems. We have problems. But success is available for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you live in your success? And then teaching a kid like Will that sports is not your only option. Right?
Yeah.
So many of us in our communities think, oh, I got to be the best football player. I got to be the best basketball player in the world.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah.
To change our outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put that same energy as you put into sports and training, into anything else, you'll be successful. So, that's, to me, that's what the show, it really means. And I really, the creators and the writers, the showrunners, Carla, and all of them are on the same page and work really hard. Rashid Newsom and TJ Brady, Morgan Cooper, they've all done a tremendous job.
That's what's up. So, I mean, Chris Rock said it best in his stand-up. He was like, I live in this neighborhood, huge houses, like $1 million. He's like, dude, I'm the best comic in the world.
In the world.
It's like, I'm here. And my neighbor's like
a dentist.
It's like,
what teeth you working on?
Right.
Yeah, it's like,
that's the reality.
That is very much so the reality. And you just say it so well. And you're a deep thinker. We already know that about you, and we'll dive into that a little bit more. Just your whole upbringing. By the time you went to college at 16, it's just crazy. But once this whole strike thing is over, because at some point all these things normally do finish out and get worked out. Lord willing, it will.
Yeah.
Do you got something in the works already? Do you have some?
We're going right back in. Right, season 3, we're good right back into it.
Yeah. So you already?
I've been thinking about it. I got some stuff I'm gonna pitch.
Okay.
The one thing they know about me in the room, and I'm one of the only writers that is still there from season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I was a part of this project. I heard about the project in 2020, and we've had a few showrunners, and I've been the only constant throughout the life of the project.
Yeah.
Right now. So anytime I pitch. So just for those who don't understand what a writer's room is. So say it's us 3 and 4 other people.
Yep.
And we're sitting around, the showrunner is like, hey, this is what the story is this season. We want to, do this. Like this big story this season was Will's playing AAU basketball in season 2. Mm-hmm. Well, I pitched that because nobody in the room had ever played AAU basketball. And they didn't even, the network execs didn't even know what AAU basketball was.
Yeah, was just my next question. They probably even know what AAU
But they
basketball.
were like, well, he's playing on the basketball team in high school, so we don't.
That's not his current. Current is the AAU model.
Yeah. But once you explain that to them, they're like, oh, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
So out of touch.
So if we sit here and I pitch that, and I'll pitch it all the way through, and they'll go, oh, okay, all right, well, let's put that on a board, right? They'll write the pitch out. Get notes on it. Can we do it? When they say yes, then you just build on that. Okay, so now we need an AAU coach and a character. Is this the nemesis for season 2? Or how is Will going to respond? And my biggest thing was I said, the breach of trust between Uncle Phil and Will at the end of the season 1, we have to repair that, but we have to add some obstacles. So the Doc character who ran the AAU team, Uncle Phil started noticing Will listening to him, right? He's changing. So Uncle Phil feels like he's losing, right, his ability to guide Will in a way that's he's not benefiting from just for Will. So you have this one character here and Uncle Phil here and Will in the middle, and then throughout the whole season you have this pull back and forth. Now that's good conflict.
Yeah,
that's how you pitch a story. And that's how it sticks because people can understand that. So now we have a nemesis, right? Now we have a safe place for Will, and he's in the middle. He's getting pulled back and forth, and then you just, add stories around that.
So where were you at when you did this writer thing? Like, I know your wife, she got you some classes.
Okay, so
you know what I'm saying? Where were you at?
How did story?
Yeah, I had an idea for a movie in my head, and I've been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
A romantic comedy called The List. And I would always talk to her about it. And she was like, hey, why don't you just write it? And I said, well, I don't know how to write. What you talking about? I don't know how to write. And she was like, just open up a book and start writing. I'll just go that way, baby. So for my birthday, she got me like an introduction to screenplay course. It was a 5-week course. We met on Mondays for like 4 hours in a loft in the arts district. Right, it was like 6 of us who signed up for the course.
Some dude's house.
And some guy's loft.
Some person.
Right, he had sold some shows. He was a writer and this and that. And he just took us through character, the whys, the wants, and then the technical aspect of writing. And so I said, oh, okay. So when I came out of there, I met a good friend. I was actually producing a movie.
Do you still even in contact with that teacher today?
No, I don't. You know, that was like that was like 6 years ago, I think now.
Okay.
And I was, prior to writing, I was a producer. I produced film. And we were producing a movie called The Intruder in Vancouver with Dennis Quaid, Michael Ealy, and Megan Good. So we were on set producing that. And one of our associate producers, her name is Victoria, I was telling her about the list, and she was a writer. She was like, oh, yeah, we should. I said, look, when we get off of this movie, when we get home, we're going to write this movie together. She was like, okay. She really helped me understand how to, number one, use Final Draft, which is the software you need to be a writer.
Okay.
It's difficult to learn at first, but once you get it, it's all self-explanatory. You can just plug and play. And so we wrote the list together, and the premise of the list is the married couple, been married 6-7 years. The spark is gone. So they get introduced to this fantasy of the list, right? Which is, if you're married, you get 5 people on your list that you can have like a freebie with if you ever met them once in a million chances, right? So they're like super A-list celebrities that you'll never run into. So in reality, the list is
it's
just make believe.
Yeah.
But what it did was them talking about it sparked something in their relationship. And then the wife meets somebody on her list. And things happen. She wakes up at the person's place, no clothes on in bed. She had got drunk. She doesn't remember what happened. So the comedy of coming to terms with that, telling her husband, and then her feeling like the only way I can make this right is if I help you sleep with somebody on the list. Right? So you have a couple now navigating the rest of the movie and her trying to have him hook up with an A-list celebrity. And he says, look, it's easy. You're beautiful, right? You can go up to a man and be like, hey, you're on my list. And that's easy. If I go up to an A-list celebrity, I'm going to jail.
No doubt.
I'm going to get slapped. Which we do have. He does get slapped a couple of times. He does end up going to jail. But it was a romantic comedy. It was fun. It was like, that was the first thing I ever wrote. And it just opened up a door for me.
Yeah.
It just took, just being creative took on a whole new meaning. So everything I see, now I can put in TV or movie form. Like I can create a movie or a TV show from this, just being in the environment. Like I'm always looking, I'm always creating. I'm just man,
always looking for ideas. You never
always
turned off. Yeah.
Well, I love that. Hopefully we get you plenty of content.
Plenty of content.
Plenty by the time we get you up out of here, Ephraim. As you're going around Hollywood, this is the one thing, and we had to ask another guest a couple of days ago about the same type of feeling. Is like, how do you handle rejection? Like, you've been so successful your whole life. I mean, you did get pulled back a couple of times from going in the game, obviously.
It's been, you play in the league long enough, you deal with the rejection, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But going around Hollywood, pitching these scripts, trying to pitch these ideas, these movies, how do you, because you get told how many more times than you ever do get told yes.
Not even close. You can't even quantify it.
Yeah, it's like, this is just part of the game, right? And so how do you handle that? And how do you relate that to maybe your past life in football and how it's kind of prepared you for that?
So as a 7th round draft pick,
you already felt a little rejected.
32 teams said no over and over and over again. And so sitting there in 98 watching that draft, And teams had called, hey, we're going to get you in the 3rd round. Hey, you ready?
Oh, you got the call in the 3rd round?
Hey, man.
Wow.
You got to remember, the draft was only 2 days back then.
Yeah.
Right, first 3 rounds on Saturday.
4 through 7.
4 through 7 on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, y'all, hey, everybody. It's coming up. Right? It's coming up. And it doesn't happen. So you go to sleep. And you wake up and you turn it back on. And you sitting there. You get some calls. Hey, 5th round. We're looking to take a lineman. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Hey, it's coming. Now it's half the people, not more. By the time the 7th round came up, the house was empty. I turned the TV off. Me and my brother, I'm like, I got to go to the movies, man. I got to just go get away. So as we were driving to the movie theater in San Diego, I get a call from Art Shell. Tells me, hey, we're going to draft you. I said, what round is it? He said, you're not watching? I said, no. It's the 7th round. It's the 199th pick. I said, oh. He said,
you can't make this up.
He said, he can hear me breathing and I'm just like, and he says, are you okay? I said, I'm pissed off. He said, good. He said, because what I'm going to do, Ephraim, is I'm going to give you an opportunity to come in here in training camp and prove to us and every other team that passed on you why they made a mistake. And from that moment, I hung up that phone. And I was like, okay, it's on me.
Yeah.
Right. So after the no, the one little opportunity, and all the 7th round draft picks don't make the team now.
No.
1,000%.
Right. So when you get out there,
it's almost like undrafted. It's almost like you're undrafted.
You just there. You trying to fill out camp body.
Yeah. Sometimes you'd rather go undrafted.
Yeah.
So you can pick
where you want to go.
Yeah. Better situation.
The draft was going off when I got drafted. Right. when they're up there talking about the picks that they came up, then you see the little blip down there.
Yeah. They don't even.
They're not even worried about that.
I don't have any footage of me getting drafted. Right. I don't know what a tape is. I don't even have my name on the screen or anything. I say that to say, getting to training camp and having just an opportunity. It opened up something inside of me that I use in the real world now. To be able to go into that situation and fight and claw. And by the end of the training camp in the last preseason game, Art Shell came to me and said, hey, Ephraim, he's going to start. You'll play the 2nd quarter. He'll play the 3rd. You'll play the 4th. Whoever plays the best, starting next opening day in Carolina. So I stood on the sideline with my helmet and my mouthpiece in the whole 1st quarter, ready to go in. Now, the guy I was competing with had been in the league 5 years. He was a high dollar free agent that they had brought over from Buffalo to play right tackle.
Okay.
So he looked at it as like a slight.
That he was even competition.
Like, how you going to have me competing with a 7th round draft pick? Well, I'm glad he took that approach.
Because he didn't take it serious.
Because I went out there. You talking about trying to kill somebody. In the preseason, so right?
Everyone chilling in the preseason.
Everybody, I'm out there.
No.
It's your Super Bowl.
I'm telling you.
Everything's my whole life.
Yeah, that's your Super Bowl. That was your moment.
Me being able to get that starting job my rookie year and going all the way and starting in the Super Bowl.
Youngest player ever to start.
Right? It's crazy. It was like you
of course, that's something you don't even think about. That's not. You didn't even know that was a stat.
Just make the team.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of it. I just wanted to be part of the team. Like, this is my dream in the NFL. And so when you translate that that was the hardest thing I had ever done in my life.
Okay.
It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Work-wise.
Yeah.
Nothing outside of that is going to be harder. So I take that approach. You tell me, no, it's good. Thank you. I'm going to go over here. All you need is one yes. That's it. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's that, okay, I got you. Thank you. I appreciate you. You go over here. Oh, no, we good. Go over here. No, we good. When you're going around on this hamster wheel of no's, when you step off, you don't know when you're stepping off. You don't know if that next one is going to be your yes. Right?
Yeah.
So if you want it, you keep going. I had bad days in that rookie year in training camp. I was like, oh, they're going to cut me. I'm getting cut. That's when I used to walk around and knock on your door.
Come bring your playbook.
Coach want to see you in the playbook. Right?
Hey, bring your playbook.
Bring your playbook.
Right?
Now it's bring your iPad.
Yeah, bring it. Right now, we had this big ass binder. It's like, oh
the
god.
big 3 ring. Yeah.
So
I still got mine.
I'm always under the mindset of I've already done something that's almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
If you guys, I don't know if you realize this, but less than 0.1% of the world's population can be professional athletes. Less than 0.1% of 7.5 billion people can do what we've done.
Pretty small.
You already won.
Yeah.
Why would you let a no stop you now?
Yeah.
So when you get into your second career, keep that same energy.
Right.
Keep the same energy.
Yeah.
Why stop? Why quit now? You didn't quit then.
Yeah.
True. And I know somebody told you no.
What?
I know somebody told you no at some
First
point.
of all, I'm an athlete, so you guys know they don't want you ever out of that box.
No.
Yeah.
Typecast.
You can't
you
do
stay right here.
anything other than talk about football, look at football, answer questions about football. But in reality, do you think a doctor, all he does is talk about surgery, or
No.
a dentist talk
Not
about
at all.
teeth whitening, or no, we live. But because we're so exceptional at something, then people think, oh, okay, they only know about that. But you look at any sportscaster or any analyst who never played, how do they get a chance to do that and we don't? I love talking about basketball. I know basketball. That's my first love.
Yeah.
I tell people I just pay football to pay the bills.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love basketball. We can sit and we can go back and forth with basketball. But when I came out of, when I retired, I was, hey, we want you to come do this football show. And I was like,
Not really your jam.
I would like to talk all sports.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, but first of all, I was an offensive lineman. So there wasn't any offensive lineman on television talking about anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Football or anything. And so the person that they had to see my personality.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Add value. I tell this to young writers. I told it to young players. I don't care how you got here. Once you here, you got to add value. If you don't add value, they will replace you.
Yeah.
The reason I'm still on Bel Air,
You got value.
because I add value where all them, remember they make the decisions. This was my goal. Whenever they get in the room and talk about who's coming back, I want every single person, the network, the studio, and the executives to all say Ephraim individually. Because if they say your name, then it's resonating with what you do.
Yeah.
Every pitch a writer has, they know. I got extended on my first season of Bel Air from 20 to 24 weeks because I pitched something. The show's been out, so now I could talk about it. The Lou Smith character, which is Will Smith's father in the finale, they didn't know where his father had been for 12 years. So they were like, hey, we don't want this. We don't want him violent. We don't want a deadbeat dad. We don't want an alcoholic. So everybody was pitching in the room of what, and I said, I was like, damn, where can you be for
12 years?
For 12 years and time stands still. And I said, what if he was in prison? And everybody laughed. And I said, no, listen. I said, my father worked in the prison system for 25 years. When I turned 18, he took myself and my brother to work with him to Folsom Prison. Hey, man, let me tell you this. It's a whole nother world. Everything outside of those walls doesn't exist.
Right.
So if we wanted to put the Lou character somewhere where his son didn't know where he was, and he didn't have any access to his son, then he's in prison. Now, whether he's guilty or not, we can discuss that and, but that's where he was. And I pitched, I said, Will was 5. His mom takes Will to see his dad for the first time in prison. When they get there, he had gotten into a fight or something, so he couldn't have visitors. On the way back, she decided, no.
Not doing this anymore.
I'm not going to expose this to my son. I don't want him to think that this is an option. So she kept him out of it. Became a secret of what happened, so on and so forth. They built it around that pitch. showrunner, Rashid Newsom, called me the next day and said, hey, man, where did that pitch come from? I said, I was just thinking, man, and I was just going through I was explaining it. And he said, well, let me tell you this. They love it. They love it. The studio, the network, everybody loves it. And we told him you pitched it. And he said, a writer's career can be established 2 or 3 of those pitches, and you just got your first one.
Oh, that's awesome.
And with that, we're going to extend you. That's value.
Yeah.
You want to talk about value?
Yeah.
I was in the writer's room with people who've been doing it 10, 12, 15 years, 20 years. When you step in the door as a 7th round draft pick and start, you've added value no matter how long the veteran guys have been there. It's the same muscle.
Yeah.
You got to use that to accomplish this. This is harder than anything in the world. But because you did that, you take that same energy, same focus, same sense of value, and you add it to any other thing. And I promise to God, you will be successful. You can't help but, because nobody works like we did.
You know, Ephraim, that's so cool. And it's very important. It's, you know, the more and more of these podcasts we do, and the more and more we sit here and we talk to veteran guys that have been through the ropes, that are really established in their second act. We were talking to Coach Leslie Frazier, and he was talking about the same thing you just said. He's like, man, make it to the league. Like that same energy that got you there, that mindset, you just got to put it in something else and you're going to be successful. He's like, people don't understand, like that is so hard to do. And you just get used to doing it. And all of a sudden you come out of it and you don't know what to do. You got to take that same energy and effort and focus it into other avenues. I think that's huge. One avenue I think that you've done a good job with as well is like, and I want to hear about this because we're talking about Bel Air and, you know, all the typecasting and all that other stuff. Do you try to make sure and maintain where, like, you know what, as I continue to rise up, I got to reach back and pull others that look like me, that come from maybe walks of life like me, and try and bring them along too and get them in the room so they have that same opportunity? Absolutely. I've always been under the ideals of, if you're going to be the first person through the door, if you're going to bust open the glass ceiling, it doesn't close behind you. But we're trained to think that it does, because we were raised in this country to think it can only be one of us. They're not going to let us all up. So if I get up there, I got to stay up here, or somebody going to replace me. Now, as time goes by and things become, you know, more accessible for African Americans, that notion is hopefully dying down. Good. But we're the ones that have to dispel it. Yeah. Right? Because here I am. I'm not a trained writer. I didn't go to school for this. I wasn't an assistant, then a writer's assistant, and then a showrunner's assistant. And like, I didn't come into it like that. But it didn't matter to me, right? I came in, I added value, I stuck, and now I'm trying to pull everybody. Everybody got a story. So if you Peanut, if we were over there, you was like, yo, look, man, I had this idea. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's put it together, right? Let's package it. If it hit, you want to do a show here individually, let's package it. We're going together. We're going together. When I came and spoke here, on second career, spoke to a bunch of players who were, you know, wanting to know about transition and all of that. I gave them out my number. I said, hey, man, everything you do, everything you have, you're already the superhero. Yeah. You're the superhero. You made it. Yeah. So hit me up, whatever you need from me to help you navigate the next step. And if you want to be in entertainment, then let me know. You guys have phenomenal stories. Phenomenal ideas, because you're able to look at the world through a different lens than the rest of the population. Very true. So I'm always, my hands are out, and I'm pulling people up because we deserve that opportunity.
So what lens did you look at for you to skip 2 grades?
So that's my mom, man. My mother was an educator. She got her PhD in education from UCLA. Okay. And so before we even went to school, my sisters, brothers, we all knew how to read and write. So you in kindergarten, you know how to read and write. They're like, what was?
Yeah, special.
They're like, what is happening right now? Everybody's like A, B, C, and we just like A, B, C, D. Like we're going through it. We can read. And when I was in the first grade, I was disruptive.
No.
Well, it's probably because you were bored.
Right?
It was so easy
I was
to you.
So they were like, well, his work is great, but he's, you know, I'm 6. I don't know. I'm just me, you know? And so
It's normal.
I tested, and so I went from 1st to 3rd, and then from 3rd to 5th. And there's the gift and the curse there. Scholastically, it helped me moving forward. Physically,
It was taking your lunch money.
no, but I was always a big kid. But when I look at my senior year in high school, and I was 6'5", 185 pounds, and then I look at what I was at 18, junior in college, right? A redshirt sophomore in college, and I'm like, damn, if I was this my senior year in high school, my basketball coach, Jim Smirker, Jim, this is for you, was furious at my parents. Furious. Because my senior year, I averaged 24 points, 12 rebounds. And he was so mad that he didn't have me for 2 more years.
Because your parents.
Because I skipped 2 grades. Who does that? Why would they do that? That's just crazy. We could win state if I had just won 1 more year. So it was a situation where physically I had to catch up.
Yeah.
In the classroom's fine. Physically, I was young. It took me a long time to get into my to my body, but once it hit, it hit.
Took off running.
That summer between 15, 16 years old,
Yeah.
oh, it was over, brother. It was over. Good luck. You know, so it's my mom did that.
Yeah. So we're going to get some fun questions real quick. Right now, I want to ask you, what was tougher, writing a screenplay or competing in The Amazing Race? Which we got to do.
Oh, y'all would be great. Y'all want to do it?
Well, I literally, I think when they record, I think I'll be working, but it's all right.
Everything got pitched to you, you say no.
I won't say no.
Everything got pitched to him.
I would
challenged him to an MMA fight. He don't want to do it. Hey, let's do Amazing Race. He don't want to do it.
I don't have the jawline to take punches.
Like, come on, man.
Just telling you.
It was difficult getting eliminated.
Well, I got it.
More
Hold on.
difficult to do that.
Hold on. Let me tell you, you guys still hold the record in that as
Yes.
well. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're the only team to be eliminated
At the airport.
At the airport.
They changed how the show's done because of that. No team will ever be in that situation ever again. That was awful. I mean,
You and Chester.
so the crazy, the behind the scenes of that is initially it was going to be my wife and I.
Mm-hmm.
So we loved the show, watched it from the beginning, loved it. Somebody casting director approached her and her friends at a club, was like, hey, would you want reality TV? And she was like, nah, you want to be on Survivor? She was like, never. But my husband and I, we love The Amazing Race. Oh, okay. What does your husband do? Well, he's in the NFL. You guys got to be on. You got to be on. Right? I couldn't do it while we were playing because I didn't have a month to just go be somewhere.
Yeah, just to be gone.
You need you have 4 weeks where you just off the grid. No phone, no anything. And so I never had that opportunity. So a couple years after I retired, hey, are you and your wife still interested in doing Amazing Race? Absolutely. Did the paperwork, sent in the video, did all these things. And then I get a call from the casting director. And she was like, hey, so we just had a former NFL player and his wife on one of the previous seasons. So is there anyone else you want to do it with? And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I said, no, thank you for the opportunity. Boom. I didn't want to tell my wife that.
Yeah.
So she was going, what's going on with The Amazing Race? And I was like, I don't know. Like, maybe we didn't make it. And she was like, oh, okay, well, couple of weeks go by. She calls back. Hey, Ephraim, we really want you to be on. You just need another partner. Hey, look, I'm not going to do that to my wife. All right? We're not going to do that.
Yeah.
My publicist, Denise White, sends her a tape or a copy of Chester and I's Super Bowl commercial. Right? The oboe and when we were playing for the Texans together. And Lynn called me the next week and was like, hey, you got to do it with Chester. I was like, how you know Chester? She was like, I saw the commercial. This is perfect. They love it. They want you. So, I have a conversation with my wife. She was upset, of course. And I was like, well, then I don't want to do it because this is supposed to be our thing.
Yeah.
She was like, you got to do it. It's our favorite show. So I called Chester and asked, he didn't even know what it was. I said, Chester, you want to be on Amazing Race? He said, is that the show that comes on after The Good Wife? That's what he said. Never watched an episode. So he wasn't as vested in it as I was. So having a partner who's not locked in with you.
I think that's where me and you would struggle at.
Because I would be like,
you'd be like, let's go. And he'll just be like, hey.
That's him now. That's him now.
So you would go crazy. Like you would be like, bruh, come on.
He was like, nah, I'm good. Hold on.
But what'll happen is your competitiveness will kick in.
Yeah.
So you'll see somebody run by you and be like, oh, no, not today. Right? So you have a task. You have to do a roadblock or something like that. And you see somebody doing it fast. You're like, oh, no, you better. So during that time, that's when it kicks in because that's that athlete. That's that button, that switch.
Yeah.
You hit that switch. And it's like, oh, you think you about to run past? Oh, no, you're not about to do that. But getting him going every time, Chester was like, man, we can go home right now. I'm like, hey, no, man, no. No, let's not go home right now. Let's just listen. You know me. You got too much money. You got too much money, man. It don't hit the same, right?
That'd be Rome all day.
He's like, man.
He'd be like, man, I'm not doing that. No, let's just go home.
I probably, he's not lying. I would totally
pick somebody else. Yeah. You pick somebody.
I'm telling you right now. All right, next one. Who is a better dancer, you or your
My
wife?
Not even close.
I know your wife, she was a backup dancer.
She was a professional dancer for 12 years. Started on tours with Usher, Ricky Martin, Beyonce, Destiny's Child, Rihanna. Toured the world 7-8 times.
Yeah.
One of the best dancers in the world.
Yeah, I love the story about how you first started pursuing her. First of all, you met her. She was about to smoke a cigarette. She said, yes, I'm going to do it. And then, she's traveling the world and you're like, and she was like, you know what? When we're not together, you can do your thing.
Bruh, she went to Okie Doke.
It's just like, well, you're not supposed to suggest that.
Not the Okie Doke.
She put one of our moves on me.
And then you were like, the moment she was gone, I was like, what's she doing? And you're calling all the time.
Listen.
And you just like, I can't be without her, dog. I think I love her.
So we had been dating, right? A couple months. She was on tour in Europe. I'm playing for the Broncos at the time.
Yeah.
So I would have to catch her when she got off stage. This was pre-cell phones all over the world.
Yeah.
Right? I had to go get to Motorola and get my cell phone unlocked to even call international. And she didn't have an international cell phone, so I had to catch her at the hotel from when they were off stage or before they went into the venue. So I had times that I had to catch her. And I remember she came back, she had a break, she came out and she was like, this is hard, right? So look, I'm not going to tell you what you can do. How about this? How about when we're together, we're together. When we're not, when we're gone and I'm gone and you're doing your thing, you do you and I'll do me. And I said, what? What does do you mean?
Do you, boo?
And she was like, I don't want to be like I'm holding you back or I was confused. I'm like, I really like you. It's like, look, I like you too, but I know I'm over in Europe and I'm going for a month or two at a time. Just do you. And I was like, she said, or we'll be together with the travel, without, whatever that is, we'll lock in right now and be together, or we'll still have a relationship when we get back together until I was like, oh. Do you know what the first thing that popped into my mind?
What was that?
Her being they were all over the world. I'm talking about South Africa, Paris, Italy, everywhere. Some of the biggest tours on the planet Earth. The first thing that popped into my mind was me calling her at the hotel after a show and in Paris.
And it'd be like the
And
Martin episode?
Right? Yes.
The Martin episode?
Yes.
It's going
It's going crazy. Bruh, I was like, I'm like, hey, babe. She's like, hey. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, we're just having an after party and all of that. And then I just hear some French dude back there. It's Mademoiselle, I said, poo-poo, will be here. And she's like, look, I'm going to call you later. Okay, bye-bye, poo-poo. And I'm just sitting at home like, so I swear to God, that Martin episode, that's the first thing that popped in my head. And I'm out of control. She's out of control.
This
the
whole
damn
party's out of control.
And I was just like, nope, I want to be with you. Be together. She said, I'm going to give you one more chance. I said, no, I'm in. I'm locked in. I'm like, click, we together.
We together.
We together. And we've been I swear to God, 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Nah, I'm cool. French dude, Italian, I can compete with that. 6,000 miles away.
No chance. No chance.
She's
Oh my God.
5'11", built like, oh my God. I'm like, hell no, hell to the no. Nope. I said, I'm good. I wait. I don't, nobody else. That made you grow up quick. It made me mature real fast.
Yeah.
Instead of doing what most guys do, be like, oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I was like, no, not this one.
I love that.
She was a keeper.
I would say this, a little bit of advice, maybe to more ladies and people should try that.
Hey man, look here. If put the carrot out there. If he don't take the carrot, he ain't the one.
Yeah. That's simple.
Put the carrot out there. She dangled that thing in front of my face twice. And I was like, nah, I'm good. We cool. I want you. I just want you. That's it. We had that type of connection. That bond. We enjoyed being around each other. The distance was crazy. But I was like, man, I think this is the one. And
that's awesome.
I was right. And I thank God every day that I was mature enough to know that. Because you know we can mess some stuff up.
Bro, most definitely. I still messed up.
I had been in the league 6 years. So you know me, I was just like wide open. I'm just like out here chilling. and I always thank God that I had the maturity to recognize what I had and to not mess it up.
Yeah.
Because early on, I was trying
to mess it up.
Man, I'm like, I had to go to therapy. I'm like, bro, you got to get your stuff together.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's a podcast.
My fault.
You
like,
can say
I was like, damn, you messing up, man. Ooh.
Oh my God. All right. So Mount Rushmore. Who's on your Mount Rushmore? You get 4 picks, 4 people that have had some type of influence, inspiration, something in your life. Wife, coach, player, a writer, actor, actress, producer, EP, an executive, me, Roman, somebody.
Well, I got you two up there. I'll put Art Shell up there.
Love that.
I like that.
Love that pick.
Art Shell, to me, having him as a coach coming into the league, can he, no, I'm going to give them their own due. So Art Shell.
Yeah.
But before Art Shell, Ed White.
Yeah.
Ed White was my offensive line coach in college.
Mm-hmm.
Played 15, 16 years in the league, all Madden, played for the Chargers, the Vikings. I'm just like the epitome of an offensive line. I was a defensive end. I went to college as a defensive end and outside linebacker. And when I played scout team, I redshirted, 3 offensive linemen got hurt. So they took myself, Kyle Turley, and another player and moved us to scout team O-line from the defensive line room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm out there literally at 206 pounds, snapping the ball, blocking Leroy Glover every day in practice, playing tackle, guard, center, everything. But holding my own because I was a competitor.
Yeah.
Great feet, great hands from basketball. And that next year, coaches got fired. Then Ed and the new group came in. I went back to defense. And he saw some practice tape of me. He said, damn, this kid is 200 pounds out here moving at offensive line. He came to me, said, you want to start next year? I said, yep. He said, be my left tackle. That changed my life.
That was awesome.
Changed my life. Changed my life. I started my first game in college at 240 pounds at left tackle against Reagan Upshaw. Y'all remember him? right? Beast out of Cal. He was
Yeah.
number one DN in the nation.
Didn't he play for the Raiders?
Yep. That was my first college game.
Crushed him.
Whoa his ass out.
Yeah.
My dad after that game was like, you might have a future at this. But that's what opened that door. So
Yeah.
Ed White first, Art Shell, two great offensive linemen,
Mm-hmm.
saw something in me that maybe I didn't even see at the time. Gave me an opportunity
Yeah.
to live the dream and to continue the dream.
Yeah.
So I definitely put those two up there. I know this is gonna sound corny, but I'll put my wife up there
It's not corny.
It's not corny at all.
because she changed my life.
Mhm.
Like it was all fun and game. Our story is great and all of that, but she helped me mature faster than I probably would have
Mhm.
because she was serious about it. She was like, "Hey, if we're gonna be together, we're not gonna play no games, right?" And through me not wanting to mess that up, I learned how to be a better me,
Mhm.
a better man.
Yeah.
Which turned into be a better father. And without her, you don't get the Ephraim you get now. So, and I'm blessed because I get to every day I get to be around that.
Yeah.
I get to be. She's all 1,000% supportive. The second half of my career, when I couldn't walk, couldn't hold, like every step of the way,
Yeah.
every step of the way, she sacrificed her career that she loved to do for us. It was hard to be in a relationship. You in Budapest, and I'm at training camp.
Yeah.
And she came to me and was like, "Look, I want to work on us. I'm stop dancing." And I wish that never would have happened because she was so great at it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a piece of her she'll never be able to get back. But she gave that up for us. So she's definitely up there.
Yeah.
Chris Collins, he's one of the most dynamic and prolific writers in Hollywood. He was our neighbor. He was a good friend of mine. Our kids were in the same class together. And he gave me my opportunity to start writing on a television show. He got me in the guild, the Writers Guild. He got me insurance because, at a certain point, we going to have to find insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you coming out of pocket, you like, how much it costs? What? For everybody? And so he was like, look, don't worry about that. Because I was telling him the story and he was just like, I got you. Don't worry. I want you to be a part of this show. There's a show called The Continental based on the hotel in the John Wick. In the John Wick movies. And I was like, but I'm not an assassin. He's like, nobody in the writer's room is an assassin. I mean, so he said, but the thing that I like about you that nobody, I don't care, he had kids from Harvard, Yale, that Princeton, they all went to writing schools and graduated and the arts. He said, the thing that they don't have that you have is you've seen the world through a lens nobody can see. I need that in the writer's room. I need you to be able to talk to and about things that no one has ever been able to experience.
Yeah.
And he gave me an opportunity to be in there and be a part of that. And that to me was everything. Because it allowed me to be where I am now, but it also taught me how to become a writer, how to become a professional, how to add value and to continue to add value.
Right.
Subsequently enough, he brought me to Bel Air. He was the showrunner at the beginning of it, and he brought me over to Bel Air. Hey, Ephraim, I know you're working on another project. I got something for you. So Chris will always be up there. I got one more.
I mean, it's your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, you can add 5. I mean, yeah,
Is it only? It's
only 4.
It's only 4.
It's only 4. That's it.
4.
I'm gonna add one more. That's my brother Dion.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's my best friend. We grew up together. I've known him since he was 11. I lived with him in high school. We have a company together called Hidden Empire Film Group.
Yep.
The largest minority film company we have.
Yeah.
And he got me into sports. I didn't play any sports till high school.
Okay.
Basketball, football. I didn't play anything until 9th grade.
And you guys did the one show with Mike Epps, right?
Yeah,
the
Meet the
movie.
Blacks.
Yeah, Meet the Blacks. That was it. That was your guys.
Yep. Meet the Blacks, Intruder, Fatale. I mean, we've done 17, 18 movies.
Yeah.
And he's always been like, we can do it. We want more. Right? So growing up with a best friend who didn't smoke, who didn't drink, who didn't do anything, he wanted to go to the NBA. So all we did was play basketball all day.
Yeah.
But us laying there, staring at the ceiling at 11, 12, 13 years old, dreaming and wishing about all the things we wanted to do, it all came to fruition. He went overseas for 5 years, played professional basketball, came back, started a film company. All of those things that we, I mean, I've known him for 36 years.
Yeah.
Right? And without that, those 5 people have helped mold who I am. And it's important to give him his due because, he's one of the most dynamic directors on the planet Earth. Tremendous insight in this business and what it takes. He didn't have the NFL in terms of opening doors.
Yeah.
So he had to open those doors himself, and he opened them wide enough for us all to come in.
Yeah.
Right? Start producing movies and stuff like that years and years ago. And he allowed me to step into that space and learn and continue to grow in that space while I was doing other things. So that would be my 5 on Mount Rushmore.
Awesome.
That's dope.
Well,
Hey man, that's you
Thank you so
off
much,
the hot
man.
seat.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you pouring into us, dog. Hopefully we gave you some content today.
You blessed
that
us.
you can take back with you. I know
sure.
we're going to take some stuff back with you. I wrote down a couple things. I'm going to watch The List. I need to get my wife the Final Draft document or app.
I'm telling you, the software, everything.
Definitely. And if you want to start writing, everybody, you must understand the whys and the wants.
Yep.
That's your basis of it all. So there it is. We actually learned some stuff today. Ephraim, man, appreciate it, dog. Thanks and blessings.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And like I always tell everybody, man, we're out of here. Remember, for all those that are watching and our listeners, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. We are going to get out of here. I'm sorry I hit you like that. My bad. I'm just excited. I'm excited. I apologize about that. That did feel a little physical. All right. But anyways, anywhere you pick up your podcast at, whether it's Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio Podcasts, please give us a 5-star rating. Hit the follow button. Give us a review. Tell us how you're feeling. Ask questions. My man Thomas will all answer them for you because we do not.
No.
And so thank you. Appreciate it. We're out of here. Ephraim Salaam. Thanks, dog, for a blessing.
Thank you, guys.
We out.